moving squares like it's fighting time. Checkmate dreams in a knight's disguise. Rook and roll till the board replies. Castle walls and a queen's delight. Bishop slant with a whispered might. Knights in armor on a moonlit quest. Strategize every little yes. We're playing chess in our minds tonight. Every move feels just so right. King and queen in a destined fight. Gonna hold that line till morning light. En passant under midnight skies. Sacrifice when the moment's right. Blitz the board with that bold attack. Swapping pieces for the lost and black. Timers tick with relentless force. Every second adds to the course. Win or lose, it's a calculated thrill. With every move we climb the hill. We're playing chess in our minds tonight. Every move feels just so right. King and queen in a destined fight. Gonna hold that line till morning light. En passant under midnight skies. Sacrifice when the moment's right. Blitz the board with that bold attack. Swapping pieces for the lost and black. Timers tick with relentless force. Every second adds to the course. Win or lose, it's a calculated thrill. With every move we find the hill. We're playing chess in our minds tonight. Every move feels just so right. King and queen in a destined fight. Gonna hold that line till morning light. Just a pawn in a grand design. Moving squares like it's fighting time. Checkmate dreams in a knight's disguise. Rook and roll till the board replies. Castle walls and a queen's delight. Bishop slant with a whispered might. Knights in armor on a moonlit quest. Strategize every little yes. We're playing chess in our minds tonight. Every move feels just so right. King and queen in a destined fight. Gonna hold that line till morning light. En passant under midnight skies. Sacrifice when the moment's right. Blitz the board with that bold attack. Swapping pieces for the lost and black. Timers tick sun under midnight skies. Sacrifice when the moment's right. Blitz the board with that bold attack. Swapping pieces for the lost and black. Time is tick with relentless force. Every second adds to the cost. Win or lose, it's a calculated thrill with every move we find. We're playing chess in our minds tonight. Every move feels just so right. King and queen in a destined fight. Gonna hold that line till morning light.
Hi, so I welcome all the viewers to 32nd Chessbrainz Club Arena. I'm none other than Abhishek, and we have Coach Nirav Vishal with us today. Hi, Nirav, are you excited for this tournament?
Yes, hello. Thanks for inviting me, Abhishek. I'm really glad to join the 32nd Chessbrainz Club Arena. And as I have been observing here since the very last times, last few months, the games are getting more exciting month by month, week by week. So I'm really excited to look forward to the games and the quality.
Truly. Currently, we have 32 participants, but as the time goes, I'm really sure that this number is going to double up. And apart from that, when we see the competition, as you said, yes, it has got tougher and it has got challenging. Also, I think we just had our Christmas and we are heading to the New Year. So we wish Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all our viewers. So without doing further ado, let's dive into the games. So parents, a small request to you: you can drop your kids' Leech's username in the live chat, and we are going to feature their games. In the meantime, we are going to see the Leech's featured game, which is this. Basically, in this game, Shaurya is playing with the white pieces and Arush is playing black. They are the top two seeders of this tournament right now. And we see some quick action coming on the board. So
Yeah,
we had a Caro can and exchange Caro, and then white decided to play the spicy C4 on the board, and black decided to push and gain some space in the center. What is your take on this position?
actually, this is a very interesting move from the white side. C4, I think, is rarely is a rare option. Generally, white plays pawn to d4 instead of pawn to c4, and after pawn to d4 from the black side, white has to know the typical idea. After pawn to d4, white has to know the typical idea, which is to play the pawn to d3, and then you have to keep your bishop on e2, and then castles and build the position slowly with knight d2 and knight d4 later on.
Truly. So we see these kind of pawn structure coming basically in the exchange Caro, but definitely here, basically here Shaurya has went out of the opening theory and he's trying something different. We see a bit of moves coming on the board. This is a similar position that the Magnus father used to defeat Magnus when he was unbeaten throughout during his own preparation. I remember this position pretty well, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because it is going to lead to spicy position. That's for sure. We are already out of the theory,
Right.
and when we look at this position, Black is still delayed. They have delayed their castle and opting in for a long castle.
Yes.
This is going to be a different game. Now, on the other hand, we see that white has a lot of pawn weaknesses on the king side. This can become a part of their problem in the long run, especially when you enter in the endgame. But apart from that, they also have some open files which can come to their help if they know how to use it properly.
Right, and there's a huge imbalance here. Black has double bishops, and the white pawn structure, as you have correctly mentioned, looks a bit vulnerable. So black should be slightly better in this position.
Truly, even castling making the king safe in peace activity, I think the black is having this upper hand, as you said, and this is going to change the complete dynamic of the game. Now, I want to see how black is going to continue from this position and keep their advantage, and how are they going to convert their middle game, especially. Now, here pawn to g7 has been played. I think this pawn was hanging, but
Yes, white didn't sort.
anyways. And also black has lost their bishop pair as well. Now, same colored bishops are on the board, so this position is getting trickier right now. Only the
Yeah,
h8 rook has to join the party, and yeah, black is trying to simplify, and they're looking to enter into an endgame.
right.
Long castle. Okay.
And after take, there is knight b4, or like a fork or something.
Mm,
Yeah, it has been played. Knight c1,
yes.
knight c1 should be played by
Yes,
the
knight
pawn.
c1 can handle this attack, which has came. Again, as we were discussing about the pawn weaknesses, I think black has already started targeting those weaknesses, and that can create problems. So knight captures, the rook is under the threat, then the b2 pawn is under the threat. Here we see the action coming in. The game has not been complicating at all, especially when the queens get exchanged. Yes, we lead to some complicated positions because each and every move counts in those situations, but this is not a case, especially with this game. And there's a discovery down the road we can see because the rook is lined up against the opponent's king.
taking the f2 pawn or b2 pawn. Black is thinking, should he take the f2 pawn or the b2 pawn? Maybe the b2
Uh,
pawn, because
B2
if
is,
f2
yeah.
takes, then the rook gets open.
F2, then you are giving this open, semi-open
Yes,
file to your opponent. So taking on B2, then maybe following it up with knight A4 is a good option in this position.
yes.
Okay, now black is aggressively pushing. Can they create a mating chances? Again, it's difficult. Wait, what is
Just
rook to
a
d3?
maiden one.
Rook to d3? Yeah, it's over.
Yes, maiden
I
one.
was just... Ooh, this doesn't look
Best.
good. Again, the kids have enough time. They have good ratings, so they should understand, their time management better than others. But anyways, it's their choice. So yeah. Okay, they are delivering checks, but random
How I
checks are
don't
not
like
going to
the
work.
position of the black knight. The black knight is kind of trapped.
Black knight is right now trapped and it is having a tough time. What is black trying to do here by giving up the e3 pawn? That's going to be one of the questions.
They want to play a fork, probably. They
Okay,
are hoping for f takes and
but white is being tricky. They have pushed the pawn and they are not allowed. But on the other hand, black is having a passer at this point. But knights are very good, especially at
knight.
blocking. Oh, now we came to know what was the main purpose. Knight f2, and it's sort of an outpost, but not too helpful again. I think black is doing well in this position. Maybe rook d1 to trade it down, but not the best choice in the position. I'm just wondering if black can still create a chance of checkmate over the white.
Yeah, the h5, g5, g4. Maybe pushing the kingside pawns can create something here.
Truly.
Uh,
I think they're trying to set up maybe a sort of pawn chain with the mating net as well.
f4 and h6,
And
probably. They have to take care of this.
Yeah, they have defended the battery pretty well. It's obvious, and now
White wants to
white is
have a good
pushing
counter.
aggressively on the hook pawn. Yeah.
e5, and this pawn is lost, I think. Okay.
Okay,
So-
they're sort of trying to attack this rook with the knight.
Okay, so maybe rook b5 from white. Okay.
They have went with rook b3 now. Okay, knight isn't
Knight.
hanging for now because of rook supporting.
Knight
Knight
c5
coming
and
back.
right. Knight c and rook to d2.
In the future, rook d2 is also an option. Right now, yes, there is a bit of skirmish going on b6, but yeah. Okay, that looks fine.
We should bring the king, right? King in the end game is very much important. So maybe a move like king c7. Yeah.
c7 can lead to the knight pin, so maybe king b7, maybe, if not anything. I think black is repeatedly trying to gain the tempo, but maybe this is not going to go for too long because after knight c5, you have rook takes c5.
The knight
They have decided. Yeah. What else
King
is
F-
left in the position? Because this is
king
pinned.
f1, rook a2, and rook b4 from white. King f1, rook a2, and then white can play rook b1, rook 1 to b4.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, now this passer is sort of looking a bit threatening to me, to be precise. Okay.
Now black is
It is-
looking again better.
Better. And even they can have some ideas of even ladder checkmates too. We never know.
Yes.
So yeah, this position is again getting rook end games are always going to be tricky. That's one of how it is known for. It is known for its theme of being tricky, and especially the kids not only have to fight with its trickiness, but also they have to fight with the clock because it's an end game position at the end.
King
We
c7.
never know where this can turn. Just look at this now. If rook d8, rook d1, we never know how the position can turn.
Now the pawn can be taken with a check. King moves forward and another check. Now the
Okay.
black. Is that? Oh, they have hung a checkmate. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yes, it's a checkmate.
Yeah, they should have
Rook to
moved the
h8 is a
king
mate.
forward.
Yeah,
They
they
should
were
have
meant to.
Right.
True. This was not needed. I mean, And why to go back? You could have gone in the center, right?
Yeah, king
Could have gone
e5
up.
and
Yeah, something like that. This was not needed. This is why we say, black is looking completely better, but rook end games are known for their tricky nature, and that's what I was just highlighting. So
right.
good game by both the players here. We haven't got a request so far, so we can again take a random game. Okay, so this game is currently going between Arav and Rishi. Arav is playing with the white pieces, Rishi is playing with the black pieces. And again, we see that white hasn't castled in this game, black has did it. That's an upper hand. We'll scroll back and see how this position has came up. So we had this Scotch game on the board, and then
Uh,
you win a pawn there, but okay, that's the theory. It's not a problem as black decided
right.
to give a knight. That is surprising.
I think it's a blunder. They didn't saw that. Maybe.
Yes, maybe it's a pre-move or something. Yeah, queen, and then
Not
bishop comes
remove
out.
the early. Right.
Yes, this is where most of the kids go wrong. Now look at the king safety and everything. It's not looking super good. Knight captures us there, but then your knight will eventually fall. So they move the queen.
Bishop f5. I think there was bishop f5 also. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Before playing knight takes f3, there was bishop f5. Okay, black's decision also looks nice of taking the white move.
We have got a checkmate. What is happening? We need to scroll it back. We are not able to figure out move 10, and these kids are like going too fast. So here, basically, again, bishop to f5 can be a way to go here, again, as you said, because knight is protected and you get that tempo
Yeah,
and you
and
develop.
c2 pawn is also hanging. Everything is hanging there. Yeah,
But they
this is also-
decided to make this double pawn on the king side, which they opted in for. And bishop captures b2 was in the air because obviously the c1 bishop has moved already. The rook on a1 was hanging. And they decided to develop the bishop, providing a bit of strength to the king, which was left in the center. Bishop takes a1, rook to g1. So white immediately figured out their strength, that they had this open file with the double pawns, and they tried capitalizing on that. Pawn to g6, but okay, pawn to g6 is obviously it's not a bad move. Bishop d4, trying to exchange the main defender of the dark square weaknesses. Bishop to b5 now comes with the tempo because pawn g6 allowed bishop to f5. And what a tricky game by white here.
Queen.
Going back for aiming for queen h6. Yeah.
So black should just capture the bishop and have some
Ooh.
simplification.
Yeah, they could have simplified a bit maybe. Now, because that bishop stood in the position, it became that long-range monstrous weapon in this position, threatening
Right.
g7.
Very difficult problem.
And then they played a silent move which threatens a couple of mates, which is queen h8, queen g7 in the air. Black was
Yes.
completely out of this idea, and they played rook to c8, lining up their rook against the... They tried
Yeah,
maybe
but-
defending the pawn. They thought the pawn is being attacked, but that wasn't the case actually. And queen g7 was a game over. So again, Arav played a very good game, but I think Rishi can take a bit of time and play. I've seen Rishi winning a lot of games in his category. So again, if he comes a bit slower, I think he can give a tough show to his opponents.
True.
Okay, we are getting a couple of requests. We are going to take on them. Okay, this username hasn't registered, so they're not part of the tournament. Yeah. KRINDG, okay. So, this Kree is playing white and Vivan is playing as black. We are again into the early stage of the opening. What is your take on this position?
It's looking a very interesting position with the imbalances. Black is having a bishop pair and white is going for the so black has no longer a bishop pair. Now this position is typical. Although black's pawn structure is bad, black has the open b file and black has more control over the center, as black will be playing d5, and on the d5 square black has many pawns, as well as the f file as pointed by you. Right.
Isn't this surprising? Why they didn't took the knight?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
This is okay. Now black is going to have triple pawns if they don't take. I think now it's time when they should take.
Right.
Whenever opponent's piece comes into your kingdom, immediately neutralize it. If you keep it for too long, that piece is going to dance and make disturbance in your kingdom.
Hmm. True.
Now it's not looking so good. Like this is a collapsed pawn structure, and yeah, and the further ideas can be knight a4 trying to hunch upon c5, and
Knight a4, knight
I think
c5 is
white is
good.
having a pretty comfortable position. They shouldn't have any difficulty winning this.
Yes, it should be a easy win for white.
Yeah, they're going in for that. Again, they can castle. On the other hand, black is somehow trying to open up the center so they can create some problems for the white pieces.
Bishop c5 was missed by white. Instead of taking the
Oh,
pawn, bishop c5 was
yeah,
there. Right.
bishop c5 was an important skewer in this position. And they
Right.
decided to take the pawn and open up the center. Again, this is not recommended. Your own king is in the center. They got a tempo, but now we need to see. Oh, that was a fork. Black found a small tactic in the position and they're suddenly back into the game.
Yeah.
They did blunder a piece, but now with their right set of tactics, they are back. Now we need to see how this position is going to build up further. Because again, you see black has broken pawn structure, so whatever they want, they need to do right in the middle game itself. And on the other hand, for white, it's pretty comfortable. They should start simplifying position.
Yeah.
But we
Maybe
need to
queen
see.
f3 and setting up bishop takes h6 should be a good idea for white. Queen f3
Yeah,
and
now
setting up bishop h6.
Queen f3 was also actually a
Oh,
way to go here, and now
oh,
they're like trying to do something here as well. Okay, I think they are acceptable. There's not going to be any sort of problem even if they do it. Okay, they have decided to play queen to b2. It's not such a common move. Knight captures on e4 and a long castle. Okay. Now knight captures f2 is in the air with a fork.
right.
Can we see some tactic down this file?
Yeah, we can move the bishop, but then black can play knight takes d1.
Yeah, true. Knight takes d1 and then what?
Oh,
Rook captures is coming. Yeah, at
they have.
especially at 800, they're blundering a bit less. They are trying to work with tactics, strategies. They have like a lot of things where they try to balance themselves at this level. I think playing slow is one way to go, and playing simple positions will help them to get more accurate and better decisions on the board.
Right.
Which side are you going to favor right now? Black or white?
This position is typical actually. If I am playing from the white side, I will be much happier because the black knight looks trapped. In fact, queen h2 is threatening to maybe not right now because rook e1 check saves the knight. But there are ideas of having the queen and the bishop in the same battery and putting some pressure on the
And
black king.
yeah, also the position is open. So what just happened? Why you have to play queen e1? Okay,
Yeah.
so now white has blundered the queen. Also, on one hand, currently the knight got trapped. Otherwise, I think two rooks are better than one queen, right? But
Yes.
the positioning of the knight is, defining the different
Yeah.
story. And then I think
Right.
now black should have no problems in winning this game. I'm
True.
assuming
True.
black will come stronger right now. White is offering a draw. Black should decline technically. We'll see what just happens. Okay, black has declined. And white
Yeah.
just resigned. Okay, that's quite natural. I think Vivan played it very well. Both kids played it well, but then that blunder of the queen, I think, costed a lot to the white in the end game.
That was a big thing.
Yes. Okay, we are getting a request for Starfish Pikachu, which is Arush. So Arush is playing with the black pieces and Arod is playing with the white pieces. There's a difference of 300 points in the ELO, and again we are witnessing,
Rook endgame.
A tough endgame, yes, for both the players. Again, Arush is again struggling with the time here because only 17 seconds are left when we just visited, and he's not having a passer for sure, but he's going to
Yes,
win a
I
pawn.
think the way to hold this should be like, of course, yeah, here rook to c3 from black side, and white can never take the a pawn because when white takes the a pawn, black will take the b pawn, and if they know the Like there are some theories. They should be able to hold this. Yeah,
That's
good.
true. Yes. Definitely, it's a holdable position for the black. But we then need to see because the kid is only left with 4 seconds. So I think time is going to play a big role in this position. Again, they will just see. I think he's running out of the clock. He's fighting well. Okay, yeah. The kid ran out of the clock. Again, this could have lead to a draw, as you stated, if that was the case. Also, the rook was placed, properly on the third rank,
Now,
preventing the white king from
white shouldn't have
going
pushed
on
the
the other side.
pawns. White should have kept the pawns back, and after king
Yeah.
d2, yeah, this should be some chances.
There were some chances in the position again.
Right.
Okay, but anyways, White has managed to win because opponent ran in the time pressure. So yeah, we are getting a request for QWERTY right now. So, oh, the game has just got ended, and we'll just try to take a look at this game quickly. So, QWERTY was playing black, Roshan was playing white. There was a difference of 200 points in the ELO. Wait. Okay, 1000 is going for this perk defense. C6 is the right way to counter this, and yeah.
I am just
Again,
hoping for b5 from black.
B5 is the way to go. B5, A5 gaining space on the queen side, queen to C7. I think these are main ideas in the perk. But again, bishop to E6 is not so known here because you also look to get a pawn in the center on E5.
This is a blunder.
Isn't the best?
Yeah.
Bishop takes, pawn takes is a fork actually, right?
Yeah, bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight takes as a fork. That's why bishop E6.
True. But they took with the knight here somehow, which doesn't convince me somehow the other way. They do win a pawn, but they missed on the fork. And now they broke the center with d5. So I think the position got a bit changed, and both kids had good control over the square, if you see.
Right.
Okay. The game goes further. Well, what was the need to play knight to a6? That's a confusing move for me because you don't develop it towards the center, or you typically opt in for knight d7.
Right. And maybe queen b6 also makes more sense. Queen b6 targeting.
Queen b6 is also playable. Yeah, if this rook ever moves, you have some threat along the f2.
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah. Also, if you want, you can hop in the center with e5 also if needed. There were a lot of ideas in this position. Okay, so they tried neutralizing this knight basically by maneuvering it all the way to exchange, but I think a better way, if they wanted to get rid, maybe a6 could have been an easier way, right?
More sets. True.
A6, if you can chase it down, then b5 also in the future if you need it at any point. And this was a slightly difficult maneuver they found. Again, they can break here. Yes. They did broke the position, and I think black is looking very strong right now.
Yes. Right.
Again, at this point, you are keeping the pin. Your rook is coming on e8. You have good pressure
and
on
d4 is also incoming. I think black has good chances there.
Black is having a solid chance in this position. Now the queen joins the attack here.
I don't think exchanging the queens is a nice idea.
Good option. Yeah, they could have kept it on the board.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to save d5, you could have found some other way to go ahead. And they can't take d5 because the bishop will fall in the very next move, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be worrying about that. Maybe they could have tried rook e8 or something directly. Then there was a queen trade, and they got this poison pawn, but obviously rook b1 can be a way to follow up here. Wait, can there be a discovered attack?
Bishop d4 check. Bishop d4 check. Then there is
no,
black
rook takes d4 is coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So that doesn't work. Rook goes on the open file, and then black decided to cement this bishop. Again, this doesn't give the open file and can be a bit, annoying for the white. But I don't think if white will have any problem because they have ideas like rook d1 in this position.
Right.
I think they were too quick to move this. Maybe now rook d1 and then bishop d4.
Yes, that should work. That should definitely work.
Yeah. Now the position goes, it flows further, and rook to c7 already. Okay, you are trying to hold on your pawn. That's fine.
Right. And black
But what
should be
would you
looking.
suggest? Do you want a rook to guard this pawn, a pawn to guard this pawn, or a bishop simply to guard this?
Of course, before rook c8, we want the pawn to guard the other pawn. We want this chain of b5 and b4, but that's not possible for the moment. So maybe putting the bishop to b2
Bishop
or
is
d4.
better. You want your rook to be
Yeah.
mobilized, right?
Then the
Maybe
rook to
because
d8.
you can try seventh
Yeah,
rank,
and
second rank ideas.
entering with the rook.
Yeah,
Activation of pieces. Very
because here the white is only having the chance to like get that seventh rank and create play on the board. Again, here
right.
sort of offered an exchange. So black was somehow looking to trade down the bishop pair. But
Actually,
again,
before the trade, can we look at? I think there
Hmm.
was like, yeah, before bishop d4 check, there was bishop takes c5, rook takes c5, and rook d8 check, king g7, and rook d7 check, and white picks up the pawn.
Yes, the b7 pawn was falling apart. That is
Right.
correct. Good observation of the tactic. And they decided to trade, but okay, that wasn't the best choice in the position. But after that, also, I think we are winning. But the other way, it comes with the trade of pieces. So yeah,
Right.
I think it leads to the same position mostly. But yeah, and after you decided to give a7, there's a passer along the a file, right?
Right.
So that can create a mess. I think black has not worried much about their pawns, and I think that has costed this game to them. But black has
True.
managed to win this. How? Okay.
I think maybe
So
because of the
white
c3. Yeah.
white blundered the rook on b2 basically. White was very well, but they blundered and then just checkmate.
Right.
Okay, a very good game by Quarty here. Even though they lost a few pawns, but then again, I think they were able to outplay their opponent through the clock, I guess. And yeah, I think Roshan played very well, but at the end, I think the time became one of the biggest challenge. But both kids played very well. And again, Quarty being, a 1000 and leading the leaderboard out of 50 participants, I think that is a good thing because the other kids are almost 1600 and 1300s and whatnot. So I think they have managed to play a decent chess to get at this position.
Right.
Okay, we can take now a random game from a random page. Can you pick up a random username of your own choice from this list, please?
I would rather like to pick up a random number, 16.
I won't mind that. Yeah, better. Okay, so 16th is Advik. Let's see. Advik is playing with the black pieces and Ani is playing with the white pieces. When we look at the game, again, there is early opening skirmish that has took place.
Oh, chaos on the board.
Yes. Now, sort of, there was a queen trade and black decided to go with that, which is fair enough because they had a discovery down the e5. Their opponent had it, I meant. We'll just try to see how this position has came up because it is not a normal position if you see.
Right.
Now, white has decided to play this English. Black
English.
played e5. Yeah, King's English. And then this is like in a basic setup. There's nothing much into that. But this is where black decides to go in with the queen to f6. Again, this is a line I have seen that can be disturbing for the players who are not playing, pawn to e3. But again, at 800, I'm not anticipating they will have this much of preparation. But yeah,
Right.
after pawn to e3, I think white is good in the shape. But in such kind of position, generally the knight goes on e2. So we need to see how this position has came up. And black has went all in with g5, a flank
Black
attack.
is going on then.
Yes. Black wants to somehow achieve the scholars, but anyhow, this diagonal is currently completely low. So they cannot achieve their dreams, their dream right now. And then knight captures
Right.
e5, their bishop is hanging. And black decided to take this pawn for some reason, which they thought they are sort of removing the defender, but again, the other pawn is going to rescue that knight immediately, so that doesn't work. And then black plays pawn g3. I think this is a bit of a random approach. Both knight comes in the center, and now white is looking to punish this early queen development. So knight hunched upon the queen. Queen changed her square, and then the bishop was hanging after that.
Right.
Black got a counter attack. But yeah, day or night, if you see, white is better at this point.
Yes, white is definitely better with the extra piece and the better king.
Yeah. We'll just see what just happened after that.
No, it just ended in a checkmate, I think.
It's a two bishop checkmate in the center. I think white just completely outplayed this position. White did not got any points. I remember a line of one of the co-analysts. They said, okay, even if there's a huge rating difference, but they managed to completely win the game, so they should at least get +1 elo in their account, which was a genuine
Right.
reward, I
For
guess.
winning, we should get some rewards at least. That's true.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, we haven't got a request so far. Okay, we are in the last 30 minutes. I'm just quickly going to, give a glance of the leaderboard to our viewers. We have Arud on the 10th position with 8 points. Now it has changed. We have Adiraj on the 10th position with 8 points. Arush on the 9th with 9 points. Ovia on the 8th position with 10 points. Tanush on the 7th position with 11 points. Afnan on the 6th position with 11 points. Arud on the 5th position with 12 points. Arav on the 4th position with 14 points. Shaurya on the 3rd position with 17 points. QWERTY on the 2nd position with 18 points. And Kailash on the 1st position with 18 points. So there is no difference between the 1st and the 2nd ranking. The 3rd ranking is only 1 point away. So we need to see how the leaderboard is actually going in.
Right.
Yeah, I think these kids are taking on one another. Let's try to take one of those games.
Yes. And Abhishek, one question to you. If you had to
Yes.
give one advice to the intermediate players, like having a elo of more than 1500 to 1800, what would be that suggestion to improve their rating and go up to the ladder like 1800 to 2000?
So kids generally get drawn with this, early opening gambits from YouTubers and different, resources. The most important thing at this point is to know the basic rook endgames, like, Lucena, Felidor, the repetitive endgame position that comes. I think endgame has a very huge part, knowing some basic pawn structures that come out of their opening. So preparing their middle game structures are better, knowing their pawn breaks and playing a bit slower and just practicing consistently will it is going to help them to get where they want to go, what they want to achieve. So that is how I can sum up.
True, precious words.
Would you
And
like
from
to
my
add
side,
something in this?
yeah, actually, what I think for them to make a climb on the ladder of the rating, as we see that the main difference also is about the opening choice. Like when we see about the players having a rating elo of more than 1800, their opening preparation is well. Like they need to experiment the openings, then whichever one is getting like familiar for them, they have to uh, have a good opening repertoire on it and then stick to it. So that will help a lot, so that they can get to know what are the pawn structures in that particular opening and what are the tactics is. Sometimes there are some ideas related to the opening itself. So opening preparation will help them to move even further on the rating ladder.
So basically that also brings, typical end games that comes from your opening, right? And last
Yes.
but not the least, basically your point is, you try to get similar type of position in your games where you are much familiar. You have analyzed those position with your coach already. You try to get similar sort of positions. You know all the plus and minuses of that position, and that increases your accuracy over the period of time, right?
Yeah, that's the point. If you're familiar
Yes,
with the
I
position,
think
it's
that's a very good advice. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's take on one of these games. Okay, let's take Kailash and Tanush. So Kailash is playing white, Tanush is playing black in this position. And we are again into a rook endgame, but black is 2 pawns up.
right.
Do you think black is going to have any problem converting this game actually?
If black tries to push the A and B pawns, then black shouldn't have. But if black tries to go for the G and H pawns, I'm not sure. White can also capture the A and B pawns, and then it can become a bit tricky.
That is correct. They should just, push their passes I think realizing your strength in the endgame is really important. If you have the passer, you should realize it beforehand itself, and then you can try to use it as fast as you can to win the game. But I would like to see how this position has came up, where Kailash is having the rating of almost 1400, while Tanush is having only 1200, and we can clearly see, Tanush has got some huge advantage in the position. I want to understand how that has came up. So we are going to
Yeah,
go a few moves back after we witness this end game.
yeah. Let's move back.
Yeah, let's see the position first in the lifetime, and we'll go back later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Black has realized their strength. I don't think now they should have any difficulty going ahead here.
Right.
Now it is
Black.
going to get
Yeah. Black will have to maneuver the king. Yeah, like this king e4, king
towards the
d3.
rook
Yes.
in this exact pattern. Yeah, that's correct. And White will give a lot of checks, but at some point maybe White can also look to take on g4 and try to create a play. But I think it's going to be too late for them now.
Right. Yeah, after that b3 and a4, Black should be putting the pawns.
Yeah, b3 is a very solid way to continue. a4 is also going to connect those pawns again. Black is completely better right now. Then b2, a3, and then the same way they can just work it out. Black is completely winning right now.
Yeah,
After
the
rook
extra
g1,
pawn.
you just give it off. Yeah.
Yeah, we just sack and we just make a new play.
Yeah. I think Tanush had a very decent endgame. If you see, after some point he realized his passers. He aligned, he coordinated his rooks and pawns properly, and he finally managed to now win this position. I just want to take a quick take back and understand how did Kailash went 2 pawns down in the game. What was the strategy these kids were trying to use on each other?
Sure.
Oh, it's going to be. So we had this English on the board again.
Right.
Okay, so White had good center pawns. Now White obviously have this break in the future at some point with d4.
Right.
Now d4 cannot be played in these kind of positions because the bishop is acting on c4. So you go d3. Generally, one of the ideas is to go pawn b3 and then break in, but the b3 pawn itself has
I think White has to rely on f4 break instead of the d4
f4 break is the only break left in the position.
Yeah, right, after castles.
Also, this open file is going to come with their advantage. And f4 break comes in. Dark square weaknesses are there, but fortunately Black doesn't have that bishop. So that was a good thing for White, and then they took. The knight comes in the center. Knight can't do much in this position. Again, this pawn is where the Black immediately, hopped and just managed to take it. And this is sort of an outpost because now you can't kick this knight from the outpost. Okay, pawn to d5 is a good move, but this knight can be annoying on the queen side, basically. And Black started trading because they had more material.
Right.
Would you suggest taking this knight back, or would you like to continue with b5 sort of idea? What would you play if you are Black?
Ideas like having initiative makes more sense. Knight e5 is also fine, but it allows Whites to have some tricks. Like after knight e5, there is a move like queen f2, setting up bishop takes h6. Right.
Yes.
So maybe playing b5 is putting yourself towards initiative from the Black side.
That's correct. Yeah. So queen to here, b5 was played, which is again a surprising move. I mean, okay, they want to play on the queen side. That's fine. But like, what is going to be the strategy? Now, Black is having these light square weaknesses on the queen side, and White is having again broken pawn structure.
Yeah.
Black decided to exchange here.
Probably
I think
C4
this
was
break
better.
wasn't the best. Again, they may be trying to fight for the space, but the d6 is going to weaken up because of this push. And white decided to again exchange. The
Yeah, they
both
have
weaknesses
opened
are going to fall
the
down.
they wanted to take the rook, I think.
Okay,
Yeah, so they
yeah,
wanted
that's
to take the
fine. Okay,
oh
so
yeah.
there was basically this tactic. Oh,
Yeah, this
they were
was
playing
tactic.
on this pen. Yeah, good
Right.
observation. Yeah, and then they got this rook, and already then they were better. Knight comes in, but again, knights can be tricky at some point. I
Queen
think
G2 was a really nice move, which helped white to simplify the position.
that's correct. So white was better. Then how did black manage to win this?
I have no idea actually.
This was the reason why I thought of going through this game.
Rook's on the
Knight
seventh rank.
captures c4, and then yeah, I mean knights can be tricky in the endgame. That's what one thing I know, and this is
Oh,
the trick I was talking about, the fork. And again, they have more pawns, so I think that made a huge difference. Again, the knights can be tricky for the end game, yeah. And the rest, is, I think we have seen it already. So good game by both
yeah.
the players here. White was doing very well, but then that knight 4 costed them the whole game. Good game. That was a good one. We can take on the next request if we have any. No, we do not have any request for now. We can take a random game from the page number 3 right now. Let's see. Can you pick up a random number from 21 to 30?
29.
Let's go with Ahan. Ahan is playing from the black pieces. Karthik is playing with white. They have almost the rating, difference of 100 points. And we see on the other side that black is a piece up right now.
Right.
I think this looks a bit easy for black if they want to like felicitate, an exchange of, rooks on the
Yeah,
f file. They can just
yeah,
move the knight and they
I
can
think
try.
which can help them to simplify the position. That's true.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, white is trying to sneakily get the rook d1 with the idea of
I
now knight can
think they
jump in the center also at some point maybe.
yeah, I think they should play a bit slower because I think the b5 pawn was hanging earlier as well. And even
Yeah, b5 is hanging with the queen's attack. Kids do get all good opportunities in their games, but playing slow and finding those opportunities is also equally important. Now queen finally took on the b5. Again, here if they want, they can try something like knight to e3 and they can go ahead and attack.
yeah.
We are getting a request for Samagre right now. So queen has went on the square c6, gaining a tempo on the rook and looking to play aggressive chess. Again, white has a passer, so we never know. Black also have a passer, but are they going to realize their strength or not? That is one
They should
question
start
which is
the
going
pawn
to...
with d3.
Yeah. Now white is setting up a battery. So what is exactly they are preparing?
I don't know actually. I think black should start playing d3, d2 before white can set up
D3,
any.
D2, yeah. Because if white started getting the counterplay, then at some point maybe they need to give their knight, and a8 rook is not actively involved in the game right now.
Yes,
So
white
these
can
things
maybe
can make a difference. Yeah.
white can try to play queen f7, e6, e7, and then queen f8 check can really become a threat. So black has to start.
Yeah, black cannot let's see what black is actually preparing, because again, I think maybe this rook is hanging, because of which no, it's not hanging, sort of. It has enough defense right now. You get at least try to get your rook in the activity or push your passer. Like you have a few ways to continue this. But
Right.
what are they exactly going to bring up? That's a question. They are a piece up if they want, and if they want to like try some way to exchange pieces, that can also be a way to continue here.
True.
Queen e7, when king was on g8, rook f8, trying to
Right.
offer a trade with the skewer or something. There were ways how they can make this position, or we never know. Okay, rook 2, b8 is still a playable move. Knight jumps in. Okay, fine. Knight c3. Oh, I think. Oh, wait, what? Why did you took b3? Queen captures b3.
Yeah, they are not using the time
How
properly.
both kids are blundering at one after the other. I mean, this is something that I definitely want these kids to work upon themselves. They are very strong. I saw that Ahan took good time when he was like into into a situation where he had to like get a plan and then play. But he after
But
being a piece up, you cannot do this. That's not right thing, I guess.
and queen
He never said.
d6, white can play queen d6, trying offering a trade of queens, queen d6,
Oh,
and
definitely that is looking too strong. But are they like going for now? They can't do it.
yeah, queen d4. But this endgame is
What
getting
can
intense.
black do? Oh, black is pushing this to get this, I guess.
Yeah.
Not the best choice, but both passes are going to fall if that happens. Now,
Yeah.
with some
And
check idea, if you can check and if you can get a4, maybe that can make a difference with your passer along
right.
the a5
I think white will be the first person to get the pawn.
to get the fork. But they have
Ooh,
defended somehow. Oh, this is
this.
getting tricky. This is getting tricky, actually.
Yeah.
I think now they will come to know why the king's FT, king's activity matter the most in the end games.
But
They
this
could
is
have taken like the e5, right?
yeah. And now white could have just marched with their own king.
Yeah, they could have just. I mean, this is not looking good for both sides. On one hand, if you see the Karthik is having good time, on other hand, Ahan is still used as a bit of time towards
King
the end
g.
game. Now it is looking good.
I
We need to
can
see
see
how
many,
this
many
goes.
mistakes. Probably they are not aware of the opposition very well. But
Yeah,
why king h5? Mm,
they're infiltrating to. Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good.
yeah.
King g2, king g3, king g2, and then. Okay.
And I think
Wow.
black may have. Yeah, I think white will.
Black is going to win this.
Yeah.
Again, white can stop it after, getting that king on the c file,
Because
but
it's
we
a
need to see
rook
if they can
pawn, so
find.
it should be a draw. It's a rook pawn, so it should be a draw. White can just go at
White can just go in front
yeah.
of that king and
Yeah,
prevent it
pawn
from
to
moving out. Yeah.
oh yeah,
But now they did not use that strategy either.
right.
It was a draw, definitely. We know that. Again, now I think black is winning, but 22 seconds left in the clock. I think the kid should have no trouble in setting up this meet.
True.
See, by chance, if Ahan runs into a time pressure, there is 1% chance of the stalemate.
Right.
But likely that's not going to happen. But we need to see. King g5, king g6 is a stalemate, queen g6. I think the kid is not going to miss it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, what we see, the game has ended. Ahan has 7 seconds left, minimal time left, but the kid managed to completely win this game. Karthik had 1 minute and 53 seconds left. I don't think if this time is going to help him in the next game, right? I think using your
Right.
time is a skill in the chess, I guess. Yeah.
That's
So
the
this is
most
a good.
important.
Yeah. We are getting a request for Samagra, so we are going to take on his game. Samagra is playing with the white pieces and Madhav is playing black. White is already a piece up here.
Yeah. But black is having 2 pawns for the piece, so white has to convert
Yes.
carefully.
And also the e pawn is a passer in this position for them. So
Right.
again, now white is threatening to maybe take on the square h7
Yeah,
as
and
well.
white should probably plot the knight on e4 because, as we know, that the best blockade is a knight.
Knight is the best blockader. That's true.
H7 is hanging.
They decided to play the knight first. Knight captures f6 is in the air.
Yeah, knight f6, and then h7 is also hanging.
Yeah, h7 rook together will hang basically. And h7 is going to fall even if the rook cannot anyhow support that pawn. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
true.
White is also having two passers on the knight file and the rook file here on the king side.
Yeah, and now maybe h4 trying to help the knight with knight g5. Yeah, and then planning to play knight e6.
Yeah. Black has found their strength already. They are looking to like disconnect the knight here, but the white has went for a counter attack basically, and they've got a counter tempo again.
Right.
How is this
Maybe
game
black
going
had
to go ahead?
maybe black had e3 instead of bishop e3.
Pawn e3 was better actually. Yeah, it pushes the passer, but then again it opens up the window for
Yeah,
bishop to
it would
defend.
help the knight. Rook
Yeah,
e2 and maybe rook to d2.
d2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a playable line actually.
Yeah.
Isn't
Feel
the
like
worst? Yeah, yeah.
yes, bishop e3 is also reasonable. Oh, okay.
Now that bishop will fall again, we need to see how this game is going to come
Yeah,
up
because I didn't
because
wanted a simplification. That's the reason. So it has
yeah.
occurred.
Again, white has
e4 is
connected passer, so if everything got exchanged, white is winning this for obvious reasons.
right.
Rook takes e4 was also a good option in the air. Back when bishop c2. Are they going to get their bishop back on some square and try the same strategy?
Yes, they should do it and get the
Yeah,
remaining pawns, and white will be up too many pawns, and white should be winning easily.
that's correct. Okay. Oh.
Maybe there was h6, if I am not so sure. Like a few moves back, instead of
Yeah.
rook g1, h6. After king h4, there is h6.
h6 can be played.
Yeah, black can play king h4 and then h6, king takes g3, h7. But there is then rook
But
d1
what
check.
if king captures h6? King captures h6.
No, black plays king h4. Black played king h4.
Then h6 is in the air. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, h6. But there, it's
Yeah,
not
it's a
working
play.
right now, probably.
Hmm. Bishop. I think. Oh,
Yeah.
black had no way to save it. Yeah, and then what just happened is we just need to go slightly back and see. So nothing much was there after the
Yeah,
black
can we
lost
say
their
h6
last
here?
hope.
Can we say h6?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You
here.
can go on the
Yeah, here.
analysis board and you can pick it up. Yeah.
It was looking like an interesting sacrifice there.
That's correct.
Yeah. King h4, h6.
H6 is leading to a draw basically here.
Oh, king takes g3, h7, king.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
is a draw position.
king takes g3 happens. Oh, what is the
King takes
ancient
g3, h7,
h7,
and rook d1
rook
coming in.
d1 check, king c2,
King
rook h1,
c2.
bishop h5,
Yeah,
rook h1, bishop h5.
bishop to h5 to stop it.
There is
King to
perpetual.
f3.
Ah.
Yeah, perpetual is there. Again, because this area is completely covered by these
Yeah.
pawns and then the king. So
Right.
because of that, there can be repetitive, h1, h2 going in the air, and that is creating a mess. But again, your opponent needs to be so much, they need to be so much good to figure out all these, right? At this level, maybe this kind of risk can be taken definitely.
Yeah, we need a lot of time to calculate
Yes.
these things, of
Again, this
course.
is an Indian calculation, but as a human, it's too difficult to find, especially in the time pressure. So I completely agree with you. Such kind of variations can work. We are in the last 5 minutes of the tournament right now. We are just going to see how it flourishes further. Now we have Ani on the first position with 23 points, Arav on the second with 23, Tanush on the third position with 23, Arush on the fourth position with 22, Shaurya on the fifth position with 21, Kailash on the sixth position with 21, and then we have Quarty on the seventh position with 21. And then we have Joseph who has taken a pause with 20. We never know. Within this 5 minutes, I think this whole board is going to turn upside down. We never know. We cannot make a fort here of
Right.
any position. Just see Arav is like going at the first. Also, Tanush and yeah, another Arush has also Arush has got on the first position. Arav is on the second now. Tanush and Arush is also taking on one another. Shaurya is taking on Tanush. Let's take one of the games from here, which can impact the leaderboard. Yeah, I think Arav and Arush, the 1 and 2 are taking on each other. I think this is going to
We should
be
look at their game.
a decisive game. So Arav is playing white, Arush is playing with the black pieces.
Yeah,
And
I am guessing this is a French, maybe. Can we
yes,
see from the
it
start?
looks like a French for now, for sure. But the bishop is light square bishop is out. Can it be a Caro-Can exchange too?
It can
Yes, it
be.
looks like it
Should we
should.
check?
Let's see, let's see. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, it's Caro and then Caro advance, the back attack, and then yeah. The e5 pawn is slightly helpless in this
Yeah.
position,
I
basically.
think they should have played bishop takes f3 and knight takes e5 after knight to c3.
Yeah, just removing the defender and winning a pawn. e5 was a slight weakness in this position. Knight captures isn't the best here, even though you lose a bishop, but your opponent can get such kind of an open file, or queen captures and queen has a better activity than yours. So yeah, these are some things which makes a difference. Now bishop got a bit of tempo, the game is going on, but white has already supported with bishop f4 here. So now removing the defender is still helpful because knight captures, e5 is in the air. Pawn to f6 was played in the position. Bishop went a bit back, and black managed to win a pawn.
Right. I still feel white has something here because of the bishop pair. White should have some chances.
But a bishop
white
pair
has-
is currently the bishop is not belonging to g3 if you see, okay? So again, the bishop activity will make a difference in the bishop pair. Like the activity isn't the best. Yeah, you can look to target such kind of weaknesses with the ideas of bishop to g4. If you can immediately like find the right activity, then yes, yeah, the game can turn.
Right.
And now white is breaking the center with f4. Haven't thought of this before. Okay.
Right.
Knight jumps on f5, hitting the bishop because it is now completely unsupported, as that
Yeah.
pawn is already moved. H
Like,
pawn is
white has
already
to be
moved.
careful.
Yeah. And here, white decided to give on the bishop pair and improve the pawn structure if their opponent wants to. But indeed, they will win a pawn back on e5.
Yeah, white will get the pawn.
But again, that's an isolated pawn, so it can be a weakness. I think this game is highly positional, if I tell you.
Right.
We are in the last 1 minute. I think this game can, change the results.
Yeah. Can white try out a move like queen h5 probably? Trying to create a
Queen h5 could be tried. You need to play dynamics if you're looking to, get that first position, right? You need to have this dynamic approach of, being fearless and then
because
going
now
for
black
what
gets
you.
back.
Yes, I think black is doing very well here. They've decided to.
Was
queen
bishop
here.
h5 possible?
Bishop
Yeah,
takes e5. Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
possible. I mean, now They've decided to take on G2.
Yeah, but there is a fork. Yeah,
Yes, the
C7
fork
queen
is
is
in the
different.
air. Even the bishop is also hanging at this point with the rook.
Right.
This is not looking good for white actually. But again, white is threatening a mate here. So if they decide to take a rook by any chance, it can. No, it is not a mate, or the
Yeah,
queen
the
is covering
C7
it.
queen is
Yeah. I think they will pick up. Okay. Okay, fine. They can take here basically because after rook takes, rook takes is a check. So because the rook is guarding, it's worth for them to take on. Yeah, if the queen wouldn't have been there, I think it was a mating threat. There was a mating threat that they could have figured out. Last 18 seconds. The tournament is just about to end.
yeah.
Yeah, this is I don't think if this game is concluding in the near time. No. I think the time has already ended. The tournament is over. And let us go to our winners of the tournament. So we have 55 participants who have participated in today's 32nd Chessbrainz Club Arena. On the 10th position, we have Joseph with 20 points, Arun on the 9th position with 20 points, Tanush on the 8th position with 23 points, Afnan on the 7th position with 23 points, Kailash on the 6th position with 23 points again, Ani on the 5th position with 23 points again, Arav on the 4th position with 24 points. There was a tie between Arush and Shaurya. Arush on the 3rd position with 25, and Shaurya, runner up of the tournament, again with 25 points. And then we have Corti winning the tournament with 29 points and a win rate of 53%. I think they have, but there's one thing, they have berserked in all of their games, and that has made the difference. That has allowed them to play more games and eventually score more wins. So we congratulate all the winners, and thank you all the participants. You came here, you gained experience. We know it's the last week of the year, and we understand you must be having plans with your family, but this clearly shows your dedication towards the chess, and currently you are paying to the chess, and then chess will pay back to you. Thank you so much, Coach Nirav, for your your insights. That is definitely going to help the kids to get better when they will go through the stream after the games. The stage is yours. If you have something you can share with us.
Yeah. So thanks for inviting me, Abhishek. And this 32nd Chessbrainz Arena Club was really exciting. And as I can see, the kids, they are getting better tournament by tournament. Like I can just see the ratings of the students. It's getting increased tournament by tournament. So my recommendation and Coach Abhishek's recommendation, please try to follow it, and please analyze your games with your coaches after as this tournament has ended. Of course, New Year is coming, so you can enjoy as well. And I wish you a happy New Year. Okay, so congratulations to all the winners for participating, and all the participants as well. Maybe you haven't won this time, but you will surely win in the nearby future.
Yes, I think it was a solid, intense tournament which took place from the 8th position. If you look all the way to the 5th position, all had 23 points. So neck to neck competition on the board. No one had a significant lead, and Corti even wrote themselves after winning that it was an intense tournament. Yeah. So thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We are going to meet in the next year. I'm sure about it. And if you liked our work, please hit the like button. After liking, you might also find the button of hype. Please click on that if you're getting it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for tuning in and making this event a success. Take care till then. Bye and have a good night.